My dear brothers and sisters, welcome to this channel, this indicator commentary. My name is Tita, and thank you for those who have been following this channel, liking, subscribing, and sharing. And today I have a new video that we are supposed to dive in. We have several Africans that have been chased away by their own people. So let's dive in and see what happened.
Are Americans coming over here being nasty, doing nasty things, and being bad to the locals. Now, let me flip the fucking script, okay? Let's talk about the fact that we get abused over here, too. The thing about Ghana is stop crying victim. Stop crying victim, because y'all cheat us out of a lot of stuff. Y'all invited us to come home, which by the thousands we did. We came running to Ghana. People sold their homes, moved out of their apartments, sold everything. Some people packed up containers and moved over here just to get over here and realize this is not our home. Y'all call us foreigners. Ghanaians call us that. We didn't make that word up. We didn't start calling ourselves that. We don't know that that's what y'all call the white people and the Chinese because we're not around them. But we know that that's what y'all call us. I ain't never heard the word before, Toby, till I came to Ghana. Okay. Y'all invite us home. Let's talk about what y'all do to us. Starting from the fucking before we get to the airport, we got to have a visa that we pay for to even enter our home. We pay all this money for passports and visas to get here. We get to the airport, and as soon as you see a fucking blue passport, everybody's coming for us. Can you give me something small at the COVID place? You get to immigration. Can you give me something small? You get to baggage. Can you give me something small? A person grabbed a damn cart and put my bag on it and got mad because I gave him $5 because I only had hundreds because you come over here with hundreds to get the best, cash in rate. How about he looked at that and said, I don't want that. I said, what you mean you don't want it? I said, I want to know, what did you expect me to give you? He said, $10. I said, so you want me to give you over 100 CDs for picking up a bag, putting it in a cart? He don't know this is like my 5th time coming through the airport. I have never seen nowhere in any country or state where people have openly, it says $60 for foreigners, $30 for locals, okay? You go to Cocoon Park, and I don't remember the price. Let's say $200 for foreigners, because that's what y'all call us, $40 for locals. You go to the castle, it's $60 for foreigners, $10 for locals. I ain't never seen that nowhere. I ain't never went nowhere in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada where it said you pay, if you a local, if you're from here, you pay $3 for a Coca-Cola, but if you're a foreigner, you pay $8 for a Coca-Cola. I ain't never seen that nowhere except Ghana. Nobody in the airport has ever asked me for no money for nothing. I have only seen that in Ghana. Now let's talk about the fact that y'all welcomed us home and how this process looks to me. According to y'all, the ones of us that were stolen, so let's talk about the process of coming home. We got stolen from our mother, our birth mother and father. 20 years later, we're probably 26 years old now. Our mother finds us and she said, baby, y'all come home. I miss you. Come back home. Get out them streets where they don't love you at and come home. So we drive, take a taxi, however we get to our mother's address, we get there. But before she let us come through the door, she says, oh, welcome home. But before you come in, can you pay me $300 to enter the door? That's the visa to come home. So, okay, we happy to be home. So we paid $300 to our mother to step foot in her house because we're excited to be home to the motherland, okay? We get in there, and now it's dinner time. And she has plates on the table for the kids that grew up in the house. And she has a plate on the table for me and my sister who was stolen years ago. And she says, oh, my daughters, because you didn't grow up here, my children get to eat free that grew up here. But because you were stolen and you're just coming back, I have to charge you $20 for a plate. So me and my sister, we're so happy to be home. We're confused. We pay her $20 for a plate. Okay. That's the cocoon shit. That's y'all giving us different prices for shit, okay? Now we're at our mother's house, and we're enjoying being there. We see something's a little weird, but we enjoy being back home with our mother. We decide we want to stay. And she goes, oh, you want to stay a little longer? You're going to have to pay me $1,000 every year to stay here. That's the residency. Now we're paying her for residency, even though she invited us home after we were stolen from her. Okay? Now we pay the residency, and then we decide, you know what, we want to get on the birth certificate. We kind of like it here. It's a little weird, but we comfortable enough to stay here. And she tells us, oh, in order for you to stay here, I have to put my name on your birth certificate. That's going to be $3,000 each, please. And then I will put your name on the birth certificate, and you will become a family member. That's the citizenship. That's the citizenship. So how are we home if we got to pay y'all? Why aren't the visas free? If this is home, why don't you make this visa free for us? If this is home, why do we have to pay to be a resident? If this is home, why isn't our citizenship automatically given to us?
The reason I left Tanzania. Okay, so the number one reason why I left Tanzania is because I was getting scammed numerous times. Was I scammed? So I left Tanzania and I've been back in the US for almost 2 months. And for me, it was the best decision that I could have ever made for my future and for my son's future. I was on Facebook and I saw that someone posted a picture of them holding up 500 T-shillings. It seemed like they were trying to say that's how much you would have to pay. You would only have to pay 500 T-shillings to fill up your car, which is, I think they said, less than 50 cents. The situation for me this time was a visa issue. And I'll go into that in another video. I just feel like it's so much to tell and I need to give the details of that. However, that situation was rectified for me, but at the last minute after I decided that I was leaving to go home. And there is, someone there in Tanzania that I believe would be great for diasporans to, to help them make sure that they get their visas and all the paperwork that they need, and to just, not get scammed, and someone that's trustworthy. As far as I am concerned, I did what was right for me and what was best for me. It didn't matter what anyone had to say to me.
The first thing that I didn't like is the immigration process. When I went to Tanzania, I already imprinted it in my brain that you're allowed to, from the research that I've done, that you're allowed to have 3 months there and then get extensions, which is a 30-day extension. It's supposed to be 2 30-day extensions for free. But once I got to the immigration, they had us wait there for 5 hours after telling us they could give us that time period, and we only got 2 weeks. After waiting 5 hours, we got a 2-week extension. So I had to maneuver myself from there, and it was just not pretty for me. I left the immigration office like literally in tears, because I was just like, it's just this, I pick up on vibrations and energy, and it's just like the immigration people just felt like they don't want me here. For whatever reason, whatever judgment they had of me, I don't think they want us as expats there. And that's just the honest truth, you guys. Like, they were laughing at me while I was crying. Like, it was just not funny. Maybe it was just the immigration officers that I dealt with, but it was just like, oh, okay, yeah. So that was like one of the first negative experiences for me there. But yeah, I thought I could, stay there a little bit longer just to feel it out. Now, let me tell you guys, I never, ever, ever had I had no expectations with coming to Africa. Like I told you guys, I had plans to move to Ghana. They changed their rules. I don't like how their president moves. So I decided to come over to go to Tanzania. The immigration, like, to have to leave every 3 months. I know this before going to Tanzania because it's everywhere, it's listed everywhere. But what I didn't take into was the expense that it would be to travel from country to country. I thought maybe it would be a little bit cheaper, but clearly it wasn't. I just never fit in, and I've been me all my life. This is me, and I'm always changing and growing, but who I am at the core, I can't change. So if I can't vibe with the culture and I feel judged by the culture half the time, this is not gonna work long term for me. So that's one of the bigger reasons why I left too. Most of the expats were couples or males. So I met a guy, he was there from Europe. He had a business in Europe, but he lived in Atlanta. He's from Atlanta. I was like, oh, hey, what's up? Come to find out, like, he was like bragging about how, you know, he can get certain favors from a girl in the community for little to nothing. And I don't need sexual favors, but he was just bragging. And that's what he kind of like hinted at, but I didn't want to assume. But, you know, like, I think guys sometimes come to exploit the, white and black guys come there to exploit the community if, you know, they know like they can get a lot for little to nothing, you know, from whether it's company, sex, whatever, like they know this. So they go there to sometimes exploit. So being that I met some cool expats that were males too. That right there was like a big I don't fit, you know. But I want to connect with like-minded people, and I also want to connect with the African culture and the African people. But because there was that language barrier, I couldn't connect with any of the Tanzanian people, and I'm sure that stopped me from meeting a bunch of good people. But I couldn't connect. So this was like a thing for me that I was just like, dang. You know, like, it sucks. This is a bummer. It took a lot of effort coming to Africa, but I was just like, I just don't see myself happy here. I'm not happy. So I didn't know, like, in my mind, I'm like, once I didn't feel welcome, I'm like, when can I escape? You know, because if you don't feel connected with the people, it's just like, but what in the world am I doing here? Like, you know, I vibe with a few Tanzanian people, the ones who spoke English, and I didn't vibe with any diasporans, actually, not for long. So, you know, that's just what it is.
Why are so many African Americans leaving Africa right now? You know, I think when people migrate to the continent or they leave abroad, as we're seeing in record numbers, more than ever before, I'm not sure if it's new or if social media is giving us these viewpoints, but you come to countries where you find the quality of life so much better, but the cost of living a lot less than what you're used to, and you overextend. You purchase a house or you get an apartment in the most luxurious part of the country. You're dining out every day, multiple times a day. You've got a driver, you know, you're doing all of these things. And while these things can still be relatively affordable, what I see for the most part is people just doing the most, like getting the most luxurious car, the most luxurious home, the most luxurious furnishings, and essentially they can't afford to not do the work that they were doing in the US to now sustain the life that they've created on the continent. And so, you know, when I first arrived to the continent, I wouldn't say made those mistakes. I have lived, had money, lost money, had money, lost it. So I knew how to live pretty frugally. But I do recommend that when you do migrate, that you enjoy that experience for the short term. And that's like 30 days, you know, celebrate yourself. Have fantastic dinners out, stay at a hotel, stay in a fabulous Airbnb. But if this is something that you want to do long term, you need to get yourself on a budget and be financially responsible so that you don't overextend yourself, so that you don't end up having to go back to a country that you so direly want to get out.
So we already know that Africans and African Americans don't get along. The hate is very evident when you hop online. But that's the thing. When you hop online, I don't see this shit in person at all. Okay, I'm lying a little bit. There will always be somebody that's mean, but that's not what I'm talking about. My point is that the hate is strong online, but there's lots of love in person. As an African, I love African Americans. I have so many African American friends. We get along just fine. And I bet you if I asked any of them what they think of Africans, they won't have anything bad to say. We can talk about the bullying that Africans endured by African Americans in school, but that's not what I want to talk about. Just because I'm not in school anymore and I don't get bullied for being African anymore. I have learned to let that go because I decided to love myself. And I've been able to see that a lot of the African Americans that bullied me are now grown or the same age as me, and they don't think like that anymore. If you're black and you go to any part of Africa, I bet you will be loved and welcomed. So just remember that just because there's hate and division online, it doesn't mean that it's the same thing in person.
Now, they normally say east or west home is the best. Now, things have changed. From the video that you have seen, many people who are deported coming back to Africa and Jamaica, they have seen what they did not expect. Many people thought that because after being deported, coming back to their home country, their fellow citizens, the fellow country people will receive them with that warm welcoming, whatever. But things have changed. They did not expect what they are seeing right now. Several things has happened, and today I just want to discuss with you some of the things that has caused these people not to receive that warm welcome from their own people. I think even if you can discuss, we can discuss from the comment. Tell me, what do you think can cause someone not to be welcomed by his or her own people? Now, the first thing that I feel that may cause someone not to be welcomed is we have, when people migrate from their country, goes to abroad, many people, they feel that now they are full okay. They don't care about those people who remain behind. And some of them even keep on promising to people that when I'll be there, I'll give you this, or I'll make sure that things will change. The background will change, life standard will change. But after these people went there, they refuse, or they assume that everything is okay, yet they were part of that family. So they forgot that what was happening in their family before they fly to going to those countries. Now, another thing that caused many people, may cause these people not to receive that warm welcoming, is that they act as if they are superior. When someone comes from abroad, most people feel that now they are superior, they are better than those people whom they left at their homeland. So some of them, even the way they treat people, the way they mingle with them, it shows a lot. It shows that this person is not ready to be with me or to mingle with me. There is some superiorness in them. There is some egoness in them. So these things mostly cause someone not to feel okay with him or her. Another thing that may cause these people not to feel welcome is that many people who went abroad, when they came back, they forgot about the culture and talking their local languages. So they feel that they don't deserve to follow their to talk their local language and follow the culture of their community. So when you refuse to follow the culture of your community, so people see you as someone who is not of their community. They see you as maybe someone who is rude, someone who is not of their blood. So they feel that you are the lost sheep. So those are some of the reasons that may cause someone not to feel, maybe feel that he's not welcome. And then we have another thing that many people don't know. When people go abroad, and then when they have come back, most of them, they had that standard of living. The standard of living that they had, and the standard that people from community they know they have, it is different. Now, these people, when they went abroad, their living standard increased. So when their living standard increased, and people in their homeland believe that when someone comes from abroad, must support them. Yet these people, they came with empty-handed. So being empty-handed, they don't trust that. They feel that there is something you have maybe hidden. You have hidden something. There is secret that you have. So they don't believe that you are supposed to, if something is being sold maybe at $1, then when it comes to you, they'll increase at least some amount because they believe that you have money. Yet you don't have. So this is the reason some people feel discarded, and they feel that it is better if they go back where they were before. So, and then we have another thing that many people have been doing. These are for many people who have come from abroad. Most of them, while they were there, they thought that life with other people, they will not, I think their standard changed, yes. But now they have come and started quarreling concerning those things that they left behind. Things like land, things like family properties. So someone who was in the family, he or she has not gone abroad. And then you have been there and you have not been supporting the family. Now you want to share the same property, family property, equal. That is not the right thing. So most people, they feel that someone who has been abroad, in fact, he or she must have his or her own properties. We are not supposed to share with you because already you have. Yet they don't understand that deportation that happened, sure, it hit very bad. So for those people who have been complaining about maybe being chased from their families, from their homeland, more so Jamaicans, kindly please, let's just mingle together. Let's try to be friendly with our community members. Let's try to be friendly with their family members, because it has already happened. Yes, already deportation has been. You have already faced the deportation. So just accept what has happened and just remove that eagerness. Slow it down so that you can fix with the other team of the community. So thank you so much for those people who have been following this channel, and kindly please like, subscribe, and don't forget to share. And please let this channel move the way it should be. Kindly please, let's try to share with people, let's try to subscribe, and things will be okay. Thank you so much. Let's meet in the next video and be blessed.